UFC 314 is this weekend, and I can't deny the main event is very intriguing for just the details and the amount of skill that's going to be possessed in this fight. Hopefully. Because on one side we have the most skilled MMA fighter probably in the sport. And then on the other side we have the most deadly, dangerous finisher in the sport at featherweight fighting the most skilled. And it's almost like a fight of the most skilled versus the most dangerous. But the only issue being is that the most skilled is about like 36. He started like a new family, a new ranch, and all this type of stuff. But we're just going to go into the details of it and give like an in-depth breakdown. Because I do think it's very intriguing. Obviously behind the true main event, Gene Silva and Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell is obviously going to beat that guy and grapple fuck him and remind him the power of Christ. Yeah. But yeah, Volkanovski's jab needs to be spoken about as Diego Lopes has shown a vulnerability to it, but also a good side to it. But back on Volkanovski's jab. Volkanovski's jab is probably one of the better fucking jabs in the game. It's fast, it's like a piston, it's very good, and why is there a wire just falling on me? There's just something good about Volkanovski's jab that just has everyone just stumped when they fight him. He 50-45 Max Holloway for fuck's sake. Almost beat Makachev, undersized. Beat the shit out of Yair, but that was on the ground. He had nothing much for him on the feet, let's be honest, But he's fucking great. His jab is great. And let's get on the Ilia Topuria image. This is what Volkanovski did to Ilia with just using his jab. You can literally just see he's got like a little ball of bruise in there. You have a little cut. Blood on the nose. A little cut on the nose, actually. A little ball on the left side, too. That's how good his jab is. In a fight he was losing, his jab is just great. I do believe that like Volkanovski's like the master of giving out damage. Like if you look at all of his opponents during his title reign, including Ilia as well, their faces look a mess. Like even Ilia's face looks a little bit like a mess, And then you've got to think, well, Diego Lopes does get hit with jabs quite a bit. But you've also got to remember, this is in the Sadiq Youssef fight at UFC 300, I believe. Yeah, 300. And since then, he's shown great counters to the jab. I'm just going to show you these two freeze frames. So we'll go back to the Sadiq Youssef. It doesn't look good. Especially when you're someone who uses your jab as frequently as a Volkanovski does. Volkanovski uses his jab so well, and this is what eventually got him caught by Topuria, is because he used his jab so frequently that he got the timing down of the jab, slipped and counted, got him into the fence too. He made sure he slipped when he was like backed up to the cage, caught him, knocked him out, and it was such a great KO, great setup, the whole lot of it. Lopes doesn't really back people up. He mostly backs people up because they're hurt or they're just fearing his power altogether. But he can do this to Volk. And in this fight, there are very similarities between Volkanovski and Ortega. Like Ortega was sort of just like tapping his jab, double jab, triple jab, right hand behind it. And it was like, you were like, almost for a second, you kind of felt bad for Ortega. Because every time he'd throw out a jab, you'd be like, oh, he's getting to him. And then, bang! And then he's fucking rocked or, like, on the back foot again. And it's like, you just felt bad for Ortega. You really did just feel bad for him. But there's more examples of Volkanovski getting countered with big shit that Lopes does so well. So we'll get onto that. But yeah, you can just see all these examples. So here we went from right over the top, slipping on the inside, left here, over his right straight, and then right over again. Here again, he just slips an empty jab. Here again, he just slips an empty jab. and then left hook, but I think that might have just clipped him, might have just touched him. Here's an example of Volkanovski coming into the pocket. This is where he needs to stay away from against Diego Lopes, because if you look here, now Islam Makhachev is a very good striker, but he's nowhere near the striking and power of Diego Lopes. So we'll be able to see him getting countered with a left straight and a right hook that just misses, but he's dropped. He dropped. This won Islam this round, dropping Volkanovski. I believe this was in the second round. It might have been the second round. And he catches him. And he drops him. Volkanovski's always been chinny throughout his career. But he's been so tough where he's been like, well, I'm going to get up and I'm going to fucking do my thing. You know what I mean? But at this rate, I don't see him doing it at like 36. I don't see him doing that now. Maybe in his prime, I could see him getting up and maybe I'd edge it to him. But I don't see him getting past this. Another thing I want to highlight, because there's more examples of this, because I can show you. This is Ortega jumping in another jab down the centre. Obviously, Diego Lopes does his thing, slips on the outside, bosh on the chin. And again, a left hook as well. And it's like, this is going to be I can already see Volkanovski getting KO'd from just the freeze frames here. Another thing I want to highlight, Volkanovski showed vulnerabilities to the calf kick, outside calf kick. Because if you do inside calf kicks, you're just retarded, because they just don't work. You're just kicking shin. I don't know why MMA fighters at the highest level are just kicking shin and repeatedly just kicking shin. But yeah, he spins Volkanovski around. Like, if you can't see, that's his eye. That's his eye there. He span him round. Like, look, there's a tattoo on his leg. There's no tattoo on this leg, is on the leg behind. That's his front leg being span offline. And it's like, Lopes has shown great calf kicks. Ortega calf kick, another Ortega calf kick, another Ortega calf. Dropped him with this calf kick, actually. Dropped him, I forgot about that. He dropped him with a calf kick, and obviously Ortega, having his jiu-jitsu background, tries to be soy, lay on the floor. Ooh, come on, my God, bullshit. But yeah, I don't see this going well for Volkanovski. But we're going to highlight some more things which might go wrong for Volkanovski, which is uppercuts. He does dip a lot. And Islam Makhachev timed a lot of left hand rear uppercuts against Volkanovski, such as here. I didn't screenshot them all, because then I'd have to do the same for all the jabs Volkanovski's landed in his career, landing damage, and I ain't doing that. That shit required time. That required time. So, here's one uppercut, which looked like it landed flush. Here's Lopes, and you can see his uppercut, it's in mid-motion. Mid-motion. Did I get the one that landed? No, of course I didn't, because I'm a fucking idiot. But this uppercut does land, and it does land on Ortega's face, which, it really hurt him, but obviously it's Ortega, he doesn't get finished. Crazy stuff, to be honest. Crazy stuff. But yeah, it's just, this just seems like it's such a bad matchup for Volkanovski. We'll go into the clinch stuff, because they both have a great clinch. But here's Volkanovski in the clinch again. Obviously, I think Volk in this fight, he sort of got hip position. He tried to push off his face, didn't work, so he went off in the hip position, and they've both got a body lock, and then the round ended. Here's again him coming with a jab cross against Max, then clinch. You do not want to be in the clinch with Diego Lopes. This is Diego Lopes in the clinch. Knee to the body, right cross. This is not him getting dropped. He went for a takedown. But there's a cross that does hurt him. You could tell it hurt him. And he instantly shoots a takedown, which gets stuffed. Another example of Ilya... why do I keep saying Ilya? Diego Lopes in the clinch is against Sadiq Youssef at 300. And it was 300 because I can see on his shorts right here. But you can see here just how great his clinch work is. He'll land just an uppercut left hook that drops Sadiq Youssef, and then he gets a ground and pound finish. Obviously, Sadiq Youssef is one of the most chinny fighters in UFC, So I'm not surprised this happened. But you can't tell me that you cannot see Volkanovski rushing in and getting finished with this in the clinch. Another thing I want to highlight, because no one's mentioned this, even the biggest analysts on the YouTube space. So I'm definitely going to act like I predicted this if it happens. Diego Lopes has a good head kick, and I know this is the only one time he used it in his entire career. But you've got to think of it this way. Diego Lopes landed such a great head kick here, and it was the Leon Edwards combo, which is jab cross into a head kick from the orthodox stance, as Brian Ortega looks like he's in southpaw, probably through the calf kicks, I'm guessing. I did this slideshow yesterday, so I can't remember what was happening around, but I can at the same time. It's very weird. But he lands such a flush head kick here, and it's like, if you think, like, look at the hand position here. Hand, he's protecting it with his hand. His hand is down. His other arm is down. His hand is protecting himself. What's in between his shin and the glove? You know, you tell me you can't see this happening, and then he finishes the fight. The more I look at this, the more I'm starting to think Diego Lopes is going to absolutely fucking kill Volkanovski, and I don't want to see it. Can it at least be a decision loss? At least a decision loss wouldn't be that bad. But we'll get on to it. Volkanovski's main weapon in this fight is taking Lopes to the ground and neutralising his jiu-jitsu game with ground and pound. Shown in the Yair Rodriguez fight, because in the fight previously, Josh Emmett took him down and got a triangle choke. The couple fights before that, he fought Ortega, who's a really great submission expert, but other than that, he's pretty shit. Let's be honest. But his top control and ground and pound is amazing. He takes you to the fence, he will drag you to the fence, punch you in the noggin, take you over to his corner. His corner will give great advice too, such as keep your position and all this type of stuff when Volkanovski's getting a bit wild in the ground and pound. Keep your position, head position, while you can hear Juliana Pena from the fucking crowd trying to get an underhook. Yeah, and I just think that Volkanovski is probably one of the dangerous fighters from the guard. He lands damage. He really does just land damage in these fights. But again, what is so dangerous about Diego Lopes and getting in his guard is that, I'm not going to lie to you, I think his grappling game is much better than Brian Ortega's. He wasn't getting controlled by Evloev, which this is what he needs to do, because Evloev sort of exposed this side of the game. You can control him, but at the same time, it is very dangerous, such as Diamond Guard. He did get his shoulder back in, but it was still a dangerous position to be in, it wasn't just like, oh, you're going to get a triangle here. It was dangerous, and as well, he's him getting an armbar, he's him almost finishing the armbar. Evloev, toughest cunt in the sport, yeah, behind Dricus du Plessis, does not tap to this armbar, and he gets actually out of it. He did the opposite of what Evloev did. Tony Ferguson did. Tony Ferguson was in an armbar, and he just allowed them to just break his arm, essentially. And it's like, I could so see, because he got this armbar from them doing ground and pound. I could so indefinitely see Diego Lopes getting ground and pounded, looking like he's about to finish, then kicks his leg over his head and just armbars him. And I don't think Volkanovski will tap, and he just breaks his arm instead, and it'll be one of the saddest things in the world. Yeah, it's going to be such a sad watch, this. But yeah, we can see very similarities in the grappling game of Evloev and Volkanovski. He isn't going for elbows and punches here. But in conclusion, I've got Diego Lopes winning this fight. And I'm going to go via KO. I think it's 60-40. Volkanovski definitely has a chance. I feel like he's going to be winning the fight until he's not winning the fight, if you sort of understand what I'm saying. He'll be winning, tapping the inside low kicks, jabbing, and then he'll be doing that so effectively. Then he'll go for a takedown. He'll get stuffed because Diego Lopes does have good takedown defense, but he relies on his jiu-jitsu too much. He sort of has that. He still kind of has that soy jiu-jitsu instincts he needs to get out of, where you'd rather go for submissions than get back to his feet. He needs to be getting back to his feet in this fight. It really does. If he wants to win, he needs to get back to his feet. He can't be underneath Volk, but he can be underneath Volk because his jiu-jitsu game is so good. But I feel like after the third round, if you're betting and you're a betting man, you should be betting on Volk. I reckon he'll win the last 3 rounds with ease. First 2 rounds, though, do I see him surviving? No, I don't. I think he's going to die. I generally, it feels like an execution. The more we get close, it's like execution day. It's so bad. Could you not have just retired? But I understand he needs to come back, see if he still got it, and then retire if he gets KO'd. But I just don't. This is such a stylistic, not a mix match, but more of a stylistic mismatch in the terms of, in just like straight up, just the timing of it. Because in his prime, I'd be choosing Volkanovski all day, but just currently right now, I can't choose Volkanovski to win coming off 2 KO losses.